Today is the 2nd of the 12th, 2022. That's 5 2s in the date. The next time 5 2s emerge will be in 200 years. 2nd of the 12th, 2222. Sounds like a fun date to look forward to. Bellbirds on Avon Festival. 60,000 tickets will be placed in CDs throughout the world. Each ticket will be an all expenses paid trip to a music festival. The tickets will be paid for via people fundraising. Bands who are keen to play the event will agree to have the tickets randomly placed into some of their CDs. One day, Sir Tom York. America will always win because it doesn't seek to conquer all. A president can only hold office for a maximum of 8 years, so no dictator will ever take hold. General Patton could have pushed on into communist Russia, but was told to pull back. Thus a world of nations was kept, and fear was kept. The fear of losing a World Cup game makes winning the World Cup better. Jesus is bred running away from trouble. The endeavour to create a world without fear binds the Christian world. Jesus is the son of a virgin, an idea that he is born in a pure place. Then 3 wise men turn up, and he must live with fear. Thus is given a life full of adventure and problem solving, thus gets to create. A movie called Breaking Good would be based around a character searching for the virgin landscape, knocking out all that bring fears along the way. Such a movie could be about trying to build hotels in faraway places yet to be occupied, like the moon, deserts, Mars, etc. So many problems could prevent such developments, so this will make the movie more interesting. Bryan Cranston said he'd play Trump. How good would a show be called Breaking Good? A show about people doing good things, like playing golf in Mexico. I think that the world ranking should reflect who's the best golfers in the world. So here's my proposal. Any tournament that has hosted a major winner prior or after their win, both for men and women, becomes an official world ranking event. Players who play in these tournaments have their scores recorded. Each player's previous 50 rounds will contribute to their average score relative to the course rating. This will create many tournaments throughout the world that many players can compete in for world ranking points. This will make the world rankings more fair, as currently world ranking points are based on prize money, with some tours based on invite only. Essentially, tours could pay ridiculous amounts of money to a few players, and thus they'd qualify for tournaments such as the Masters that invite the top 50 golfers in the world. So having the world rankings based on an average score, where nations with past major champions will have many tournaments offering world ranking points, would be a more fair way to determine who are the best players. Of course, some nations may never have produced a major champion, so they may have 0 tournaments offering world ranking points, but the good players from these areas could move to a nation with world ranking points tournaments and then win a major, thus registering every tournament they've ever played with the world rankings. The Western Desert lives and breathes in 45 degrees. It is a good idea to go on a working holiday to save some coin, so to return and create a slice of heaven. They've got to pay the rent to the locals and have their permission to develop land first. Today is Jimi Hendrix's birthday, the 27th of November. He sang Hey Joe. Hey Joe, kangaroo, I heard you said it's impossible to settle forever and impossible to worship the Virgin Mary forever. I heard you said Jesus is the son of the Virgin, therefore the Virgin Mary is God. I heard you like Limp Bizkit and would rather risk it for the biscuit than settle down in a virgin landscape. I heard you choose to roam with the Roman Empire than be a Catholic priest. Have fun in the desert, Joey Kangaroo. One day you might hip-hop your way to Solar City. And the world of golf lives as one in Aussie. Who's keen for a party in a place called Solar City in the Great Southern Land? If world leaders in 2022 can give travel medicine to 58% of humanity, then I think it's possible that world leaders can give $1,000 to anyone keen on helping build Solar City. It's 9:33. Joey the Kangaroo Baby. In 2022, there is a catch-22. If people settle thinking people will get bored and may blow their brains out. Jesus gets crucified because he is Mr. Settle. He is the son of a virgin. He dies aged 33, 3 meaning freedom, 2 threes meaning two people free of each other. The Virgin Mary represents absolute peace, therefore no travel. This is actually impossible. Allah represents sustainability. He is a force that stops people driving too fast or chopping down too many trees or encouraging creativity if people need more tools to bring peace and harmony to the world. God is Allah. God is the Virgin Mary. God is both man and woman. God is a force that represents sustainability. Behold a new Christ, a Christ that breaks the mould, a new idea, something different. Doomed are those that think they can settle forever. New life, new houses, etc. will only emerge if people join the pilot. A new temple is coming, a temple representing the number 3, aka freedom. A place where punk rock and G-banger rap can be expressed. This temple may or may not be built in the Great Southern Land. Kevin Rudd gave everyone in Aussie $1,000 in 2008 to stimulate the economy. Many Aussies spent it at the pub. The drummer of AC/DC is Paul Rudd. Kiev is the capital of Ukraine, the country with the Queen's colours on its flag. Bon Scott went to rock and roll heaven at age 33. If Twiggy Forrest, Elon Musk and other business leaders were to create jobs in the Great Southern Land, then people could give $1,000, or people could be given $1,000 for travel expenses to go to the outback and build solar farms and food farms. This would create a G's R Us working holiday experience. Though this is not an immigration proposal. Bon Scott dies aged 33. Jesus dies aged 33. If you risk it for the biscuit, you're doomed. If you plan to settle forever, you're doomed. Good luck. The Virgin Mary, God. Jesus is the Son of God, because God is the Virgin Mary. Jesus' girlfriend is Mary Magdalene, aka Mary Magazine, who is a model, not a person Jesus actually touches. Every life form wants peace. Every life form wants to have 100% control over its lifestyle and environment. People can either use black energy to control their environment, such as a haka, or potentially building a wall, or in unfortunate circumstances, a fistful of steel. Or people can use white energy to control their environment, such as comedy, paying taxes to hungry people, building eco-villages, etc. The kingdom of Jesus will come to fruition when every human lives without fear. To achieve this, people need to be given a fear inoculation, then given the tools to gain immunity against all fear. The Great Reset has begun. In 2022, 3-2s, Ukraine vs Russia symbolises Cain vs Abel, aka the beginning of the conversation of land ownership. Kiev is at the 45th parallel. Trump is the 45th president. A Trump resort is symbolic of a peaceful place designed to make God happy. Joe Biden is the 46th president, symbolic of 46 and 2, aka the dimensions of Christ, where good ideas are stored in the upper dimension and negative ideas are stored in the lower dimension. Eventually, most connections will be associated with the upper dimension, as positivity is sustainable and negative energy is volatile. The only negative energy forces that people will connect with will be ideas to conquer land for housing and food, and this will be managed by the Roman Empire, who crucified Jesus because they need to roam in order to get more land. Jesus represents a carpenter, aka a slave or a loyal servant, who settles in a virgin landscape, aka a house that doesn't produce food, therefore it's dependent on the Roman Empire for food. George W. Bush represents protecting the assets of the Roman Empire, though gets trumped by Trump for not being social with other leaders. Trump has joined forces with Prince Mohammed, who represents Sunni Islam, that practice a very similar spirituality to Christianity, where Sunnis worship a central idea, much like the Virgin Mary, where they worship Maryam. The Shia Muslims are from Iran, aka individual run, who are people who question authority like Muhammad Ali, who changed his name because he didn't like his slave name, though he gets Parkinson's disease because fighting against the common good will bring disorder to the mind. In 2022, Kanye West is going into battle against G-Bang Iraq. Yemen is a problematic nation state because they represent Shia Muslims who don't obey Sunni rule. Eventually, order will come to those who seek individuality via Sunni Islam, uniting with the Roman Empire to build hotels that poverty doesn't cause G-Bang Iraq. At these locations, there will be places to express ideas freely so people can vent frustrations safely, and leaders will respond with building environments people require. America will always win. No man or woman can play dictator forever. Only via the pure exchange of money in the name of Mary can a peaceful trade occur. The ultimate goal is to live in a house where food is bought via money, where everyone has enough money to pay for shelter, medicine, food and water, and recreation activities. America invented the internet. Britain invented the World Wide Web. Most people on Earth are using this technology. Eventually AI will calculate all humanity's needs and guide work and development toward the kingdom of Jesus, aka the singularity that is predicted to emerge in 2029. The People's Palace. At the Christchurch Council building, there isn't a suggestion box. Absolute zero effort is made to include significant community food production in suburbia, an architectural idea that emerged in the 1950s. This suggests something. Most people don't participate in politics, nor do they want to. Nations will become businesses, much like insurance companies. Private companies will pay taxes so they get roads, etc., and workers will pay taxes to get medicine, etc. No one will bother much about who is the leader as nations are too big to fail. All nations will be regulated by the United Nations. To bring nations together so that problems with food don't occur and to create a platform that people will actually participate in, a people's palace will be built. Farmers will use this place for advice on how to sell produce. Investors will use this place to know what to invest in. The palace will be built by 3 families who donate the most money. A right-wing politician and left-wing politician from every nation will then be asked if they would like their family to be a royal family at the palace. The location will be decided by the founding 3 families. If this is something you're interested in, leave an expression of interest in the comment section. I think this behaviour is beneath humanity. The destructive commercial fishing practices like bottom trawling decimate wildlife and destroy delicate ecosystems. I think only farmed animals shall be eaten because it's all they know. Wild animals should be free to evolve. This creates a second thought. What is democracy? Are the rings of nations needed? Is 50% the benchmark? Who gets to vote? Is it possible for free speech to occur if someone stands to lose out? All these questions suggest conflict. I predict that there will be only one king, Baron Trump. I think Trump architecture will conquer all, and other politicians and businesses. I think architecture will conquer all other politicians and businesses. It's based on peaceful living areas that don't produce food, where all society chooses a logo business to support. Eventually, all logo businesses will be owned by a very small group of people who will play golf and have meetings on golf courses. They won't be able to decide who gets to be the public leader among themselves, so I predict the Trump royal family will get the nod. Though Biden's granddaughter just got married at the White House, and Prince George looks pretty smart. So possibly there's going to be a palace built to house royal families who will then govern the world's resources on behalf of a secret business group. Share media. In an age of technology where people can share almost every recorded media and post it to an app server, the question is, do artists want their media shared without their knowledge, and further, do they want people to talk about how they feel about their media without the opportunity to defend what may be said about their media? If journalists make people feel anxiety and depressed, is this appropriate? Journalists may say it's freedom of speech. They may say it's their duty to inform about disasters. The real question is, who is the authority on advice, and how to best find the most qualified journalists for scientists. The H Index is a method to finding the most peer-reviewed university papers. I'd like the Christchurch to be referred to as the University. I'd like to create a university that studies social media and social sports. Money shot economics. Many moons ago, a group of British explorers set out to map planet Earth. They first recorded the beaches and bays, and then rivers and mountains. Then, using art inspired by the cultures they'd witnessed on their travels, drew lines on the map of planet Earth, set up British embassies inside each ring, and organised sporting events to represent each ring, aka nation. They welcomed all people to peacefully trade with these embassies, keen to allow social thoughts to evolve, so no human felt they were welcome based on their appearance, or they weren't welcome based on their appearance or place of birth. They created a method of trade based on spices, where a pound of pepper could be traded for anything. Then they lost this trading method when George Washington created America. America had gold, and this was a more robust form of trade. Then America created an IOU system based on faith, where they would print money and charge interest to those they lent money to. This created a new world based on logos. Then America went to a digital currency that created more control of the trade, allowing more tax to be collected and more money to be printed. An idea for a more happy and peaceful world would be for America to print more money, give this money to businesses, and create social islands. A recruitment company could be created that offers a job with accommodation while providing each staff member their chosen nutritional needs. Such an event would require a money shot. Bob Marley, RIP, was born on February 6, 1945. The Treaty of Waitangi was signed on February 6, 1840. Bob Marley died because he refused to use cancer treatment. He didn't want to alter his body. I think Aotearoa represents 100% pure. It's a place for people who worship the BC Jesus, Mother Mary, Mary Ann, organic foods. I think New Zealand represents the AD Jesus, the Roman Empire, Muhammad Ali, travel, heavy metal. I think Aotearoa and New Zealand coexist. I think it's important to keep moving while being kind and pay taxes so that Aotearoa is kept safe. That said, being a New Zealander can be dangerous. I think Forrest Gump has a son that sees dead people. I support the son of Forrest Gump leading safe journeys to create New Zealands. Waka Wanda. Waka Wanda is a people, not a place. George Washington was rated by Time magazine as the third most influential person because he created the nation of USA. By being a surveyor and uniting landowners via democracy. Waka Wanda is a group of people united by tools, a ball and a tool that either hits the ball or swings a ball into a hole. The leaders of Waka Wanda are chosen via competing over 22 holes, with each hole being 100 metres and 1,000 yards. Players can choose any ball or club, racket or slingshot device. The inventor of the ball, the club, the racket or the slingshot device, the player and their mothers will be the leaders. These people will register people as members of Waka Wanda. Competitions to be the leaders will be held every 2 years. It's a bit of waffle for you. The 2nd of the 12th, 2022.